Hashtag Nation, what's up? Welcome, you guys. We got an absolute banger for you today. James Cook. Beginning of the season, not many of us thought what was going to materialize with James Cook. A lot of people thought, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen there with his contract disputes? Me and the boys examined James Cook's progress over the first 3 games of the season this year. And boy, do tensions get high. Make sure to leave a like on this video. It tells YouTube that it's a good video and it should be pushed out. Make sure you follow all the socials. Let's get into the video. You know, it's a very, very special day, Paul, that we can have a very famous guest join us on hashtag. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Dable has decided to join us.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, the hoodie vest is a hard pull for me.
Like we were talking about all off season, everything was going crazy. James Cook this, James Cook that. I want to be the highest paid running back in the NFL. I want to do this. I want 20 million a year, Instagram, all this other stuff. We see after 3 games that James Cook has the most all-purpose yards of any back. Obviously, he's second in rushing. Paul, I want to go to you first on this. Was it a solid investment for the Buffalo Bills? Although he's only playing 56% of the snaps, he's still able to generate the kind of yardage and the premier back type deal that you want. Was this a smart investment for the Buffalo Bills?
So the bugaboo with me with James Cook was always ball security. Right. Because that was always kind of like the monster that kept him away from his rookie season was, put the ball on the turf and, ill-timed drops. Like there were just things there that right now, I mean, we're only a few games into the season. So you don't know if the ghosts are still there. He does have 1 fumble so far this season. However, he's averaging 94 yards a game. Right? Like from the running back position, he's giving you everything you could want and more. He's averaging over 5 yards per carry. Like in the NFL, that's a challenge to do. So on this, just on the level, yeah, I mean, you look at the contract, you say, yeah, I think this makes sense, right? You're paying for this level of production.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that's entirely true, right? I mean, I think a couple of the things that you've seen James Cook get better at last year to this year. It seemed like, Paul, I agreed with you after the Baltimore game that it just seemed like he kind of like wasn't hitting his holes. He wasn't being patient. Like those things seem to have improved over the last couple of games. I thought especially last game against Miami, I thought he did a really good job of a couple of instances kind of getting skinny between the tackles, getting through holes that maybe he wouldn't have gotten through last year or even the way he was running in that Ravens game. It seemed like he was doing a little bit better of kind of adjusting his body to get through some of those holes that maybe weren't as gaping as they would like to be. And I guess the other thing that I would say is we haven't seen any success from anyone other than James Cook this year in the running game. And Josh Allen's included in that list, right? Like the only successful rushes Josh has had really have been plays that have broken down. So when you talk about a guy in James Cook, like I don't know necessarily that this offense is predicated on a plug and play type of scenario. Now, maybe if you could find someone with a similar skill set to Cook, maybe a lesser version of him, maybe that holds true because, I think we can agree like Ray Davis is a completely different runner, right? Like Ty Johnson's a completely different style of runner. Like maybe it's just the style that Cook plays, but at the end of the day, there's not a lot you can complain about when a guy's second in the league in rushing. He's leading the league in first downs, rushes for first downs. Like he's doing all of the things that you want him to do. His usage percentage has gone up from last year to this year, which is what we talked about, right? Like if you're going to earn that contract, the expectation is that you're going to carry the ball and be on the field more. And he's done that so far. So, I mean, everything that he's done, I think has shown that it's James Cook and than the offense that he's in, more so than the offense, and James Cook just happens to be the running back.
So let me ask Mario that question, right? So Mario, is one of the reasons why we haven't seen Josh Allen the runner, because last year we didn't see Josh Allen the runner till you got deeper into the season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, like we were saying that Josh had broken his hand, like
we thought
most of the season,
that Cardinal
right?
Game, right?
Yeah. So Josh Allen the runner wasn't really an option. Right, because then the glove appeared and just nobody was allowed to talk about it. Remember the glove? It's because that showed up and then no one was allowed to talk about it.
Never on the injury report, anything like that. Yeah.
That glove was Voldemort.
So is one of the reasons you don't see that facet of Josh's game? That's a break in case of emergency for this Bills offense now. Is it because Cook has been so effective that you don't really need that dynamic?
I think it's been a little bit of both. I think it's been his maturity, that coming up through the years. And he's going to be 29 years old this year or 30 years old this year. You look at his age and stuff. He can't do a lot of those things all the time like he used to do. And I think that's what Brady wanted to emphasize a little bit more in the offense. Okay, we're going to pay you this money. You always pay the guy for what he's going to give you, not what he gave you. So therefore, his snap counts up 44% to 56%. You want to get your running back involved a little bit more, but everybody knows that offense runs through Josh Allen. So therefore, some of these holes and some of these things that are opening up for Cook, although a very dangerous weapon in this offense, could be, one of the reasons why he's getting all these looks, he's getting all these things, given to him. You know what I mean? So I got to correct Ryan though on a stat. Actually, Jalen Hurts is leading the league in first down rushing attempts with 17. So I was just curious. No, I was kidding.
Two more than
you were saying about running back. But obviously everybody knows the metric. What Cook is going to get measured on for his contract is going to be how he performs with the top guys. And right now, being second in the league in rushing, first in all-purpose yards for a running back, is making the case for you made a solid investment in this kid. And whether or not you think he's plug and play, that's going to be the fear. Like, what is going to be the drop off if Cook gets hurt or has a little bit of that concern that Paul did with his fumbles? What's going to happen? How is Ray Davis going to perform? How is Ty Johnson going to perform? Because to your guys' point, he has a vastly different runner than both of those guys. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it plays out. But just for note, if Cook is not the rushing leader, guys, you got to remember over the past few seasons, Jonathan Taylor, who's currently leading the league in rushing, plays 81% of the offensive snaps.
Yeah.
Just to give you guys a point of reference, and he's the guy who that offense runs through. So it's two vastly different offenses between the Colts and the Bills. So make sure to keep an eye on that.
He's on pace, right? Like we joke about it, right? But he's on pace for 19 touchdowns this season, which is a stupid stat because that was the thing we talked about, right? Like you're going to sign him to this big contract. He's going to have a touchdown regression. And what has he done? He's done an uptick in his touchdown production so far through the first 3 games of the season. So I think to Paul's point, I think Josh runs less, probably because of James Cook, right? I mean, but by and large, I think it's the fact that they don't have to run Josh to open up the rest of the running game, right? Like you don't need Josh to keep it on those RPOs in order to keep the defense honest, because the defense can't stop James Cook even when it's just a straight handoff situation. And that's something we haven't seen in a Bills defense or a Bills offense in a few years. Like it wasn't last year, right? Like last year they couldn't just, Mario do like a reverse spin handoff, a 24 dive or whatever, right? Like they could run those and get any type of yardage. And now they're averaging 6 yards a clip on those types of runs. So I think that keeps Josh safe. And, you look around the league and the first real running quarterback that was like the way Allen runs, right? Like that's probably Russ. Like Russell Wilson was probably the first. Like Cam was the better one, but Russ was that guy, right? Like he ran a lot. He was the first quarterback that really predicated the run. This new generation of quarterbacks, and what happened to him? Like the age of 33, and it was like he fell off a cliff, right? And now 3 years later, he's out of the league. Yeah, basically. So I think that you have to look around the league. You see Cam Newton, you see Robert Griffin III, like you see these guys, and I think the Bills are looking at Allen going, you've adjusted the way you run, you've done all the right things, but at a certain point, like we also have to protect you, right? And that's not letting you run the football as much. Let's go get a guy who's productive and let's pay him to keep him, so that's one less thing that you have to have in your mind as you go forward. I think that was a good move by the Bills.
But I want to call out something because we just mentioned, like you don't have another James Cook type running back, so you've got four running backs rostered. We're not going to include Reggie Gilliam because he's not a fullback or running. We're not going to include Reggie Gilliam. So you have Ty Johnson.
He's a tight end.
Yeah, right. I suppose. Right? I suppose.
He can be whatever he wants to be.
You have Ty Johnson, you have Ray Davis, and you have Frank Gore Jr. on the practice squad, right? And I would argue that those running backs are all similar in comparison to James Cook. And then you look at who's available on the free agent market, and there's no one close to the skill set that James Cook has that's still available, nor should there be, right? Because if there was, they should be on a football team at this point. Yep. So it really is James Cook or bust. The problem is we can talk about James Cook leading the league in rushing, but I do want to point out he's not the biggest guy in the league, right? We don't know of any durability issues, hasn't really run into any durability issues so far through his NFL career, but you don't win Super Bowls in week 4, right? So at some point, you have to figure out a way to not have Ray Davis and Ty Johnson only have 17 carries, right? Combined, because that's what they got right now, 10 carries and 7 carries. That's it. So you got to find a way to get those guys a little bit more work and get them going, because you're going to get to week 10, you're going to get to week 12, and Cook might be exhausted by that point if you are, again, running the offense through him. It's a long season. You got to find ways to mature. And if I have a concern for Cook moving forward, that's probably paramount for me.
Yeah, and you don't want to tip your hand as far as your offense goes as well. I mean, James Cook, by snap count, has played 123 snaps. He has 53 carries. So you're thinking half the time he's on the field, and that's not even counting his receptions either, which he has 9. So you don't want to tip your hand. He's on the field, he's getting the ball. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Isaiah McKenzie numbers, right? Remember Isaiah McKenzie was playing 47% or 37% of snaps, but he was getting the ball 70% of the time he was on the field. Very Isaiah McKenzie numbers.
Paul, I would counter your point that there's nobody out there with, can I interest you in a Zach Moss?
Yeah. Okay. All right. I thought you were going to hit me with Chase Edmonds. I was going to.
No. How about Gus Edwards? Can anybody? No. Yeah. No. I mean, I think of other than Josh Allen, like James Cook is the guy this team can't lose, right? Yeah. Like insert name here, it's Josh Allen. There's a wide gulf, and then it's James Cook, and there's probably
an even bigger gulf,
and then it's probably like, I don't know, Deion Dawkins, right? Like, because I don't know what happens at left tackle if Deion goes down. You can look at any team over the last 10 years that's made a run in the playoffs. Like, they all have a guy, right? They all have a running back, despite how important the quarterback position is. Like, if you can't run the football come playoff time, like, you're in trouble. So, well,
and that's where Philly gets me, right? Do you look at the Philadelphia Eagles depth chart, right, and tell me that running back isn't important in the NFL? Yeah.
I mean, they traded for a guy.
Yeah,
to back up the guy that they went out and signed, right? Like, Tank Bigsby's not, he's not a huge name, but he's not a slouch. Like,
right, and they already have AJ Dillon there.
Who Tank Bigsby is?
Yeah, like your running back room is Saquon Barkley, AJ Dillon, and Tank Bigsby. Those are all starters, multi-game starters. Like that, you can't tell me that running back's not important in the NFL. You just can't.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing the impact that it's having on Baltimore right now, right? Like, Derrick Henry has had 2 bad games in a row. He's put the ball on the field 3 times, which is already through 3 games exactly how many times he fumbled last year. Like, running back is an important position. Like, it just is. You kind of talk about we've been cyclical with this, right? Like, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, it was like, well, anybody can be a running back, right? Like, just go get a guy. And then it's like, oh, Saquon Barkley had a rebirth, and like, oh, Derrick Henry's still doing this at the age of 30 whatever years old he is. Like, these guys still matter. Like, even you see what the Chiefs offense looks like. Like, Pacheco can't get going, Kareem Hunt's worthless, and it's like, okay, so now what, right? Like, so I mean, you do have to be able to run the football, and I think to Paul, it's a good point. Like, if Cook goes down, what does this offense look like? Because they don't have a guy that's got that similar skill set. So you wonder how much Brady would have to redo this offense around those power backs, those between the tackles type of backs that he has to back up Cook versus the guys that can get to the edge, the guys that can catch the swing passes, like all those things that Cook can do.
Yeah. If Mario has his ways, like all hail Aaron Cromer.
He'll fix it all.
You think if you think that James Cook's production has not been because that line's been together for 3 straight years, you're out of your mind. That's all I know. That's huge.
The other thing to keep an eye on, and I don't know, like if Cook goes down, like did you guys see Chicago? Like DJ Moore's getting carries in the backfield for Chicago this year. Like, is that a thing, right? Like, do you put Elijah Moore back there, or do you put because Khalil Shakir back there? These guys that have they can get to the edge. They've got speed between, they can kind of get skinny between the tackles, like run the foot. I don't know. I mean, you got to try something.
Did you just call Khalil Shakir the Bills' Randall Cobb? How dare you?
I called him the Bills' DJ Moore. Like he can get carries in the backfield, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, those are wrinkles that we haven't seen that we might see because we have seen Shakir in the backfield before. He has been back there and when did we see it? Last year at the Chiefs game.
Yep.
So if that's in the holster for Brady, it's there. You know what I mean? I think he has those options for him, but I think they're just going to really run the vanilla offense that they have until they start reaching these big teams, and they don't want to show their hand a little too early when it comes to some of these really good teams that they're going to meet in the playoffs. So I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but again, another reason why, get some of these other backs work, right? Because you're going up against the Saints. Like, if you don't walk away with Ty Johnson and Ray Davis having 10 carries combined, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to find a way to get James Cook involved, but you just don't put you don't put your foot to the ground on that. Like, you just got to get up, get that lead. Let guys work in. You're not going to hurt Cook. Like, you got to protect.
This isn't the game where you want Cook having 25 touches, right? Like,
no,
this isn't the game where you dial that up. I think
the next four aren't games that you want Cook having 25.
It will be interesting to see, like, Mario. Like, are there games where they look at the way the offensive approach, and they're scheming for things, and they're like, hey, this is a 25-30 touch game for James, right? Like, is that usage rate something that we might see at some point as the season goes on against these teams?
I think you will, and you know what though, you're gonna have a guy who's very happy in the locker room because he already got his money. Usually guys that don't have their money yet want to play these games against the Saints so he can show his worth.
Yeah, not
only to the team that he's on, but to the team that he may be a part of. So now that he got his money, he'll be happy having a 12 touch day. Yeah. Against the Saints if they win by 20. You know what I mean?
Point. Yeah.
He's not gonna be upset about that, basically. So
yeah, you don't have to worry about the usage complaints.
Yeah, then you have these other guys who are on rookie deals and are 1 year deals that are like, I'll play. Let me in. I want to run. Yes, please.
Yeah, he's looking at, hey, if you want to pay me whatever you're paying me to only touch the ball 10 times, I'm good with that.
Yeah, absolutely.